Hello, I am Steve Miller, Director here at the Animal Genetics and Breeding Unit in Armidale. With close to half a century of experience, AGBU has been and continues to be the architects behind the genetic evaluations that calculate the breed plan ABVs in beef cattle and the Australian Sheep Breeding Values, or ASBVs. Genetic evaluation is really all about comparisons. The genetic evaluation strives to use all information to solve for the best estimate of an animal's genetic merit. As you can imagine, considering all the performance data, management information, pedigree, and genomics in one large statistical model is complex. Although complex, at its simplest form, it really is a large system of comparisons. If I was to tell you A beats B and B beats C, then they rank A, then B, then C. We know A is better than C, even though they were never compared directly. B is the link to compare A with C. This system of comparison is the same principle that underlies the calculation of breeding values, but there are many more comparisons to make. Not 3 animals and 2 comparisons, as in our A, B, and C example, but millions of comparisons to weigh in and consider in one set of equations. The premise of an estimated breeding value is that we can compare animals despite their environment, where an animal's performance record does not allow this. As everyone knows, you can feed animals to be bigger at a year of age, or we can breed them to be bigger. Just by looking at the animal's weight, we don't know how much of that performance is due to genetics and how much is due to the environment, including the feeding. To illustrate this, let's consider a running example, the men's 100 meter. For reference, the world record for the men's 100 meter is just under 10 seconds. And if I told you I ran a 100-meter race lately and did it in 16 seconds, you would say, well, Steve's not very fast. But your opinion of my speed would change considerably once I tell you some important comparison information. I will start off by telling you I came in first, and that likely does not change your opinion much. But if I tell you that I ran against the current world champion in the 100 meter, then your opinion changes. There are two important pieces of information here. First, it is the difference between individuals. I came in first, and also who was in the race. These are two important pieces of information. In this case, I am compared to someone with a history in other races, and since that person is the world's fastest to date, and I beat them, then I must be fast. What you did not know is that the environment was poor. The race was in deep mud, uphill, with gumboots on. This running example provides an illustration of how the system of comparisons works. You need individuals compared head-to-head in the same environment, and in animal breeding we call this a contemporary group. Those individuals need some reference to other contemporary groups. In our race example, the fact that one runner was the world champion, so had been in other races compared to others, provided this link. When we calculate breeding values, we rely on the pedigree to link animals across contemporary groups to make these comparisons. And now with genomics, these genetic relationships between animals are even more accurate. Our running example is an easy one, but breeding values in practice are much more complicated due to the size of the data sets, meaning millions of comparisons need to be considered simultaneously. In this series, AGBU scientists are going to unpack some of the key elements that go into calculating accurate breeding values. Phenotypes, what traits to measure, and why they are a critical foundation. The importance of capturing management information to qualify who is being compared head-to-head. Pedigree that links animals between groups. Heritability, which determines how much weight or trust we should put in a phenotype as a predictor of breeding value. Genetic correlation, the relationship between traits, and how one trait can help inform another. Accuracy is a measure of the information behind a breeding value. And finally, how genomics is playing a role to improve the accuracy of breeding values today. I hope this video series is useful in providing confidence in the breeding values that have become such an important selection tool for Australian sheep and beef cattle producers.